Hello friends, Revolver 44 here. Today I'd like to show you a review of a Ruger new model single six. This gun was first produced in 1953. Bill Ruger started making guns in 1949. He started making the standard model semi-automatic 22, which was a big success. And then later on in 1953, he started to make the old model, which wasn't the old model at the time, but just called the single six. In 1953, he started making that. The single action Army revolver was first made by Colt in 1873. But then it was continued being made up until World War II. But when World War II started, Colt had to cease production of the single action Army to make guns for the war effort. And then later on in the 50s, they noticed that Ruger had started to make these in 1953, and they were selling quite a few of them. So they got back into the game in 1956 and started making the single action revolvers again. This is a very high quality revolver. It's 22, it'll shoot 22 short, 22 long, and this one here also has a magnum cylinder installed that will shoot 22 magnum. This is finished in blue. They also come in stainless steel. This is made of carbon steel. The frame section is one-piece aluminum. The barrel is hammer forged, as is the cylinders. Very well made, very heavy duty. The barrel lengths, this one here is 4 5/8 long. They also came in 5.5, 6.5, 7.5, and 9.5. The 7.5 was the Hunter model. This has walnut stocks with Ruger medallions. The front sight is a ramp that's screwed into the top of the barrel. The rear sight is adjustable for windage and elevation. This has a capacity of 6 rounds. They also make a revolver called the single 10 now that'll hold 10 rounds of 22 long rifle. And they also make a single 9 which will hold 9 rounds of 22 magnum. This has an overall length of 11 inches with a weight of 33 ounces. This particular one was made in 1982. These are Massachusetts and California compliant, in case you're wondering if you're able to buy this if you live in a restricted state. Some of the older models too are available in 17 HMR, 32 H&R, and 32 H&R Magnum. I believe the Also maybe 327 Federal Magnum. I think those might have been only 7-round capacity, where it's a bigger caliber. Yeah, this is a great pistol if you wanted to train somebody how to shoot for the first time. This would be a good candidate because it's fairly simple operation. The recoil is very light, and it's safe because these new models have a transfer bar safety. There's a little bar here that comes up and protects the firing pin, so it makes it a safer operation for new shooters. Plus, this slows down the operation, so you can really learn all the basic fundamentals of shooting a firearm. Like I said, this is a really heavy-duty, well-made firearm. Ruger started putting this reading instruction manual stuff on the barrel after they had a problem with somebody having a misfire. But now, on the newer ones, they put it on the bottom of the barrel, so it's not so much of an eyesore. The muzzle has a nice chamfer on the front of it, protect the rifling. Like I said, the front sight is screwed into the barrel. You could remove this and put on a fiber optic sight if you wanted to. It's a ramp with serrations on it. Like I said, the rear sight is adjustable for windage and elevation. You get your elevation screw here, and your windage screw is right here. It's got a heavy frame. This is investment casting. Ruger started making guns out of investment castings to make the production easier and more economical, rather than machining a whole block of steel. It has a nice serrated hammer. Like I said, the frame is aluminum. Yeah, it's a really nice piece. Be an excellent starter gun. Good for a beginner to learn how to shoot. You load the gun right here through the side loading gate. You can turn the cylinder to load it. And when you want to take your shells out, your spent shells, you just rotate the cylinder to each position and hit this ejection rod here. This ejects the shells. There's a rod inside here that pushes the spent cartridges out. See, that's the rod. And you just go to each one and push them out. The gun comes apart fairly easily. You just press this spring-loaded pin here, and this rod, this base pin rod, pulls out. And you can open up the loading gate and remove the cylinder. Very simple, very basic. The last 3 numbers of the serial number are etched into this cylinder here on the back, so you know if you have the right cylinder that goes to the gun. This one matches up. It's 861. To load it back up, you just take the rigid edges of the cylinder here, slide it back in, line up your base pin. Depress the button here. Sometimes it's a little tricky to put in. There you go. And see there's a little slot here in this base pin. Once you push it in far enough, this spring-loaded pin will catch that groove and it'll lock in place. And then this spring-loaded pin will pop out. That's how you'll know that it's in there right. Yeah, it's a pretty basic operation. Like I said, this is a great learning tool for new shooters. And it's a fun gun to shoot because it's inexpensive. The rounds are inexpensive. Let me show you the different calibers here that'll shoot. Shoot, like I said, 22 long, 22 short, 22 long, a 22 long rifle. And with this cylinder, Magnum cylinder, it'll also shoot 22 Magnums. Okay, this is the 22 Magnum, and there's your 22 long rifle, and there's the 22 short. So there's quite a difference. Quite a difference in power too with the 22 Magnum. Let's check out the trigger pull weight. I'm going to put in some dummy rounds so I don't damage the firing pin while checking the trigger pull weight. You don't want to be dry firing these without anything in there because you could damage the firing pin, could mar up the cylinder also. So you don't want to do that. Bear with me here. Yeah, like I said, this is single action, so you cannot actuate the gun unless the hammer is pulled back. Single action, that's what that means. So in order to fire the gun, you have to pull the hammer back. And there'll be one click and 2 clicks. This is my Lyman trigger pull gauge. Try that again. £2, 9.6 ounces. So that's a pretty light trigger for new shooters to use. Like I said, this is a great learning tool, or it's a great gun to just take to the range, inexpensive to shoot, and a lot of fun. In my opinion, this would be a great tool to teach anybody how to shoot with. can verify the weight also. I have a little scale here. .06 ounces. Yeah, it's fairly small in stature. It has a very nice grip. Very ergonomic. Not too heavy, with a shorter barrel. Yeah, this is the spring here. You see the spring here for the ejection rod. It's shrouded. The serial number is written here on the frame. It's a nice, robust frame. Yeah, these are very well made. Give you an idea of the size of it. Like I said, it's 11 inches long. Let's check that out. Yeah, this one actually here is, I don't think it's 11. I think it's more like 10. Maybe 10 and a quarter. Maybe the 11-inch long was for a different length of gun, different length barrel. And the height, about 5 inches tall. Check the cylinder diameter. That's the widest part of the gun. .415 thousandths. A little less than 1 7/16 diameter. Yeah, it's a really nice shooting gun. I have a little target here that I used at the range. And this was standing up at 25 yards. I had one flyer here, but you can see you can hit pretty much wherever you want to hit. The head and center mass, without any trouble at all. This is the bag that it comes with. This is the 22 long rifle cylinder. See, the Magnum cylinder is unfluted. This one here is fluted. That's how you can tell the difference. You can see the difference in the cylinders. And you can see the writing on this one too. 861, last three digits of the serial number are on the cylinder. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's etched. The old single sixes, that was stamped on the cylinder. Now they just etch them on there. I think that's about all I can tell you about this gun today. This has been a quick little review, maybe not so quick. I haven't been doing that many reviews lately with the summertime, with the good weather. So you have to excuse me for, it's been a while since I did a last review. It's been about a month. But I kind of figured most people aren't watching reviews in the summertime anyway. They're out having fun and enjoying the good weather. But I figured I'd take this take some time and show you this one. I don't know if I've shown any single action revolvers yet. I have to check my my library. It's a good one to start off with. Yeah, these are pretty common, not too expensive. They also have the Wrangler model, which is even less money if you want to buy a brand new Wrangler model. It's just about all aluminum except for the cylinder and the barrel. It's really a more basic model. But these here you can find used probably for a couple $100, maybe a little more than that. New, they're pretty expensive. But like I said, you still have the option of buying the Wrangler, which is maybe under $200 for one of those. If you find an old model, the old models differ in that they don't have the transfer bar. They just have the firing pin. So those you really only want to load 5 for safety reasons, because you don't want to have the hammer resting on the firing pin with live rounds in the cylinder. Also, the old models have 3 screws here instead of 2 pins. This has a pin for the hammer and a pin for the trigger. The old ones have 3 screws. I think that's about all I can tell you about this gun today. Thank you for watching. This is Revolver 44. Please like and subscribe, and I'll try and bring something else out to you a little sooner next time. Once the weather starts to change, I'm more apt to stay in and do reviews. Plus, I got to start doing my inside work instead of my outside work that I've been doing this summer. Doing a lot of painting and wood repair on the house. You know how it is with here in New England. We have the 4 seasons, so we have to make hay in the summertime. Get all your outside work done when the weather is nice. Then come wintertime, when the snow's flying, I move it inside and start doing inside work. Okay, so that's all I can tell you about this today. Like I said, this is Revolver 44. Please like and subscribe, and I'll be bringing more content out to you probably a little sooner next time. So thank you for watching. Be safe, and God bless.